Okay, it is August 3rd, 2016. This is Letitia Miller recording for the curriculum specialist who will replace me at Columbia College sometime this fall. I wanted to give you this video about getting to some Chancellor's Office resources. First, we're going to navigate around the California Community College's Chancellor's Office website, and then I want to show you the first major resource that you'll be using that is sourced from this site, which is the Taxonomy of Programs. Here we are at the Chancellor's Office. And you can see that the website URL is extranet.ccco.edu. What I have here is academic affairs. Well, actually, this is a link to a subpage that I go to, but if you want to navigate to this site, this is how we're going to do it. So we want to get to ccco.edu. This should get you here. And then we're going to hover over divisions. The California Community College Chancellor's Office oversees all of the functions of the California Community Colleges, from marketing and public relations to legal counsel to finances and student services and academic affairs, among others. What we are concerned with in curriculum is considered a subdivision of academic affairs. So we're going to click on that. And this brings us to the academic affairs division. And within this division, there are a number of sub-functions and a number of different things that the division is overseeing. But by and large, a large function of the academic affairs division of the California Community College's Chancellor's Office is to oversee the approval of courses and programs at the colleges. So what we do is we go to the program and course approval page. And this is going to aggregate a number of resources for people involved with program and course approval at the colleges and at the state level into a single page for easy reference. So over here, we see that there is basic skills, English as a second language, reentry education, baccalaureate degree pilot programs, standalone, curriculum, apprenticeship, system advisory on curriculum, et cetera, et cetera. All of these terms you will learn about in due time, so don't fret about it. There's a lot to learn. And then there's also regular memos and briefs from the Chancellor's Office that they conveniently post here on the side of the page. So for example, if the Chancellor's Office wants us to start moving on something new, or we're being held to a state regulation, a lot of times they will come forward with a communique about that. Let's find one so you can just preview that. Here's one. I'm going to go ahead and open that up. And the memos typically look like this, and they're from the Chancellor, and they are sent to the Chief Instructional Officers, which for Columbia College currently is Brian Sanders, and it's usually from the Vice Chancellor of Educational Services, Pam Walker, and the subject, and then the details. And they usually crosswalk it to some other memorandums or state regulations, for example, SB 1440, 440, and they explain in legalese what we need to do and what the processes will be. So from my perspective, it's a little dry. Sometimes I have to read it 2 or 3 times to understand exactly what's being asked of me, but once I get it, it's pretty straightforward about what we're supposed to do. And in this case, this is a certain process we need to follow annually to inform and self-report non-substantial changes that we have made in the curriculum inventory. And that was an attempt to streamline some processes. So that's an example of a memo that will drive the work that you do under the oversight of the Chief Instructional Officer or the Vice President of Instruction. But here, in program and course approval, the one resource I really want to drill into right now is the, let me see, the, oh, actually I'm on the wrong page. Actually, I am fine. What we want to do on the Academic Affairs Division is go to program and course approval. So this gives you more of those resources, those memos, etc. But what it does down here is it gives you some guidelines, some resources that will be central to your role as curriculum specialist. And one of those is the taxonomy of programs under here, under resources. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up. And the taxonomy of programs sounds like this very dry thing, but it kind of has a really critical purpose to the California Community Colleges, is that it sorts all of the possible academic programs that can be offered in the California community colleges into a coding system. And that coding system really helps manage data on our courses and programs as well as our student success data. And by the way we code our courses, both at the college in our systems and at the state, creates an easy way for us to communicate and deliver data to people. So this, you can read this and it tells you the role, the purpose and function of the top, but let's drill in and kind of look at some disciplines. And the numbers don't really necessarily have a clear meaning, but you'll start to see a structure of it. So here is where we start to look at the top domains. So for example, we have top 01. So you've got that first 2 digits, which represents the first 2 digits in the number, and then it gives you a name of the discipline according to the top and how it's a description of it. And then animal science, you've got 01, 02. See how the numbers are changing? And then when you drill into a subdomain, you get this 2-digit suffix after the period, and that gives you a subdomain of the umbrella domain of animal science. You see over here to the left, this asterisk tells you something about this particular top code discipline. This explains that the course is vocational, and down at the page, bottom of the page, this indicates a vocational program. Well, what do we mean by vocational? We mean those courses that teach people job skills, give them career training. And while we all think we go to college to get a good job someday, some in the community colleges, career technical education implies that upon completion of a certificate or an associate degree, the students should be in a definite vocational track like nursing, welding, automotive, etc. And by virtue of it being coded as a vocational program, the college gets some supplemental funding, which is often referred to as VITEA funding or Perkins funding, etc. So it's very important that we code our curriculum accurately. So here in the top of 1, agriculture, they're saying, okay, agriculture, technology, and sciences, that's going to lead to some very specific jobs in agriculture, hence the asterisk. Then we move down here to some other ones. Let me find one that is not. Okay, environmental science. You notice here, there is no asterisk, okay? Environmental sciences and technologies. Well, we all think, okay, we could go get a job after studying environmental science, but we're not necessarily, when we're studying environmental sciences discipline, we're not necessarily getting job-ready skills. We're probably studying theory, study of the biological, chemical, and physical aspects of the environment, including methods of preventing environmental pollution and damage. So what we need to bear in mind is when it's not coded as vocational, it often implies that it's preparing the student to transfer to a 4-year institution to pursue further study in this particular field. So what you can know is that the top, or the taxonomy of programs, generates the top code. It will be your job to become an expert in this, but you are probably advised not to make coding decisions by yourself, especially when you're starting. I always took the practice of, I can make an educated guess decision, but ideally I would like the faculty member to make a final decision on how the course should be coded. You'll want to consult with Brian Sanders on how top coding should be done, but what you should know is you're ultimately going to become very much an expert in the role of coding, how the coding gets put into the systems, how the state chancellor's office uses the coding, and you're often going to have to troubleshoot issues with coding based upon some of the rules that go along with assigning a code to a course and discipline. I want to give you an example. I'm going to go down here. You can search the top. It's very easy. I often do. I do a Control or Command F, and I can search my way for a keyword. Unfortunately, I can't do that while I'm in the system, but I'm going to go here to theater. And we had this happen when I worked at Modesto. Let's see, it's dramatic arts. That's right. Dramatic. Okay, let's go in here. Film studies. All right, mass communications, digital media. Let's see, theater. I'm going to try theater. Okay, boom, 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 and it just walks me through all the appearance of the word in the document. Doom, 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 doom. Sorry. Thank you for your patience. Wow. Oh, that's funny. Okay, often people spell Miss Theater differently. Okay, technical, here we are. So what's interesting is you have these two disciplines. Look at this. You have technical theater and you have dramatic arts. One is vocational and one is not. Sometimes you're going to have curricular proposals that come through and you're going to kind of wonder, does this go specifically into dramatic arts, which is about getting up on stage and performing and using diction, and how do you go about interpreting this particular script versus the techniques for communicating ideas, moods, and feelings through set design and construction. So this is where assigning top coats becomes a little bit more of an art form, but what you'll find is that there's very critical decisions that you'll have to help facilitate happening because faculty are often not literate in how to go about coding courses.